Hello everyone. Welcome to my YNR 24 Spoilers channel. Victoria resists Victor's schemes, cricket models, Billy, and more. The Young and the Restless Best of the Week, September 15th to 19th. Tensions rise and alliances are forged, raising the stakes and drawing people in. This week's Best of the Young and the Restless. Welcome to the Young and the Restless Best of the Week, where we showcase some of the most important events, scenes, personalities, fashion, and more from the last week. Best of the Week, The Restless and the Young. On The Young and the Restless, Vicky and Jack performed a mini-intervention. Photo courtesy of CBS. Despite Billy Abbott's terrible habits, Sally Spector may love him. But as last week's powerful moments show, no one understands Billy Abbott better than his ex-wife, Victoria Newman. Slade, as Victoria, gave Billy a hard time for reverting to his old bad habits and abandoning the gambling wagon. Vicky chastised Billy into almost reconsidering his decision to side with Kane, with Jack's, Peter Bergman, help. Sadly, Billy is too preoccupied with his objectives. Claire might eventually come to the conclusion that Kyle wasn't all that horrible on The Young and the Restless. Kyle Abbott is displaying a lot of endurance. Claire is acting rather hypocritically and pushing her boyfriend away. Regarding the whole "if I hurt Claire, I'll pay Victor $5 million and leave town" situation, Vicky supported Kyle. Claire, though? She felt excluded from Kyle's choice. Kyle, run. Hurry. The Restless and the Young moments. Devin and Lily support one another on The Young and the Restless photo. JPI. Devin's encouragement for Lily to start over shows that they have a pleasant and encouraging connection. Knowing that these two are looking out for one another, the late Neil is grinning down from heaven. When Victor, Eric Braden, wins on The Young and the Restless, nobody will be surprised. Whoa. What was the scenario at the beginning of a show where Victor declared aloud that he had a strategy to defeat Billy, Kane, and Jack? Are the corporate battles over before they really began? Although it was hard to watch Sally leave Billy, she understands that if Billy doesn't stop his evil ways, it will be preferable to endure some pain now rather than much more later. Scenes of The Young and the Restless. Billy will push away Diane, Jack, Sally, and everyone else on The Young and the Restless image. JPI if he isn't careful. Billy is a good reason for Jack, Sally, and Vicky to be concerned. It was evident that Billy had lost his mind in the scenes where he was by himself and talking to himself. The director of the episode, when Billy was very agitated, Kai Kim, used several inventive directing methods that emphasized the Abbott heir's sense of chaos and disarray. On The Young and the Restless, did you cast your vote for the wedding dress you want to see Christine, Laura Lee Bell, wear in November? Picture, CBS. Bravo to YNR for figuring out how to include viewers in the plot of the show. On Friday's show, Christine showed off 3 bridal dresses that Lauren had chosen for her. Fans may now cast their votes for the gowns they would like to see Cricket, whereas she and Danny get ready to spend the rest of their lives together. But the voting is now closed. The scenes weren't only relics from Chris's modeling career. Lauren was worried about Michael returning to work for Victor, so Chris listened to her with empathy. Seeing Jack and Nikki together on The Young and the Restless is always pleasant. When it comes to ex-spouses staying friends, they're the best. On The Young and the Restless, Danny wants his son Daniel to be content. Image JPI. TV's most encouraging father is still Danny. We adore it when he gives Daniel wise counsel. It's a pleasant dynamic to watch Danny gently guide Daniel into a life he deserves since he's so hard on himself. Notes. On The Young and the Restless image. CBS. Esther is able to memorize Lily's coffee order. Kate Linder as Esther. Read the room, please. It was not tactful to discuss Claire's excessive drinking with another man in front of her boyfriend, Kyle. In our opinion, Sharon cannot appear on The Young and the Restless frequently enough image. CBS. Sharon, where are you? Has she already departed for Los Angeles with Nick? Since many people seem to be in Chancellor Park these days, it is obvious that she should start spending more time there. The Restless and the Young. Quotables. Holden is merely attempting to assist, Claire informs Kyle. Kyle said, "That's Holden. All about helping people." On The Young and the Restless, Vicky and Jack gave Billy their best effort. "I apologize if I'm a little irritated," Billy says to Vicky. "A little," said Vicky. "There is no you and me, Kane." Lily says to Kane. On The Young and the Restless, he inquires as to whether there is a chance, bad word choice, of a future reconciliation. "Lydia, it's never going to happen." "Never is a long time," said Kane. Lily said there is no going back. The old Lily and Kane are gone. Fashion for The Young and the Restless. Last week on The Young and the Restless, there were other visions in white besides Christine. Lauren, her best friend, looked amazing in a Donna Karan white linen blend outfit. Check out the outfit's specifics here. What do today's billionaires wear? See Kane's zigzag cardigan on The Young and the Restless by clicking this link. At least one influential person in the daytime voted for Christine's lace bridal gown. Take a look at the second dress the soon-to-be bride tried on here. Things on the Restless and the Young. On The Young and the Restless, Daniel finds himself at a turning point. Image CBS. The late, great Jean Cooper's character, Catherine Chancellor, would be happy to learn that Chancellor Park, named after her, serves as the setting for a number of amazing scenes on The Young and the Restless. For example, Mariah and Daniel had a heart-to-heart regarding him taking care of Tessa while she is away. When Mariah asks Daniel to take care of Tessa, we can see where this is headed. Why is Mariah unable to? Another significant discussion this week took place in Chancellor Park. There, Michael and Phyllis got together to work out their issues. Why do Charlie and Maddie not immediately head to their father Kane's side? They might want to check to see if their beloved father is giving away his fortune, as he is a millionaire. Even if we are aware that the flashbacks are set in the past, it is still creative to display them in black and white. It works for us. We sort of like Chelsea with Adam and Sally with Billy. However, will Chelsea's lack of support for Adam and Billy's drifting off course lead to yet another round of musical chairs for these four? Just because Claire isn't giving Kyle a single inch doesn't mean that we're attacking her. She claims to be in on Y&R, so let's watch her conduct some of this therapy. Claire may investigate why she finds it difficult to trust Kyle if the show were to cast her as a stunt cast shrink. We still yearn for Maddie and Charlie's presence on the canvas. Considering how often they are discussed, their absence is conspicuous. We keep waiting for Danny to ask Daniel to be his best man and for Chris to ask Lauren to be her maid of honor. Will Harrison, Redding Munsell, return to town in time to volunteer to be the ring bearer? Regarding Chris, we see that Cricket frequently appears in press releases and other allusions. Will Chris return to her adolescent persona on The Young and the Restless? We think it sounds fantastic. On The Young and the Restless, Jack and Diane reside in a stunning estate. Photo courtesy of JPI. Y&R is wise to use the renovated Abbott home on a frequent basis. Diane put a lot of work into making the place look nice, and by frequently presenting the Abbott family home, The Young and the Restless is getting its money's worth. Does Kane have any money left? Billy doesn't always pay his tab at Crimson Lights, as Esther implied. Do you want more Y&R? Check out The Young and the Restless page for the best of the week and other features on Soap Central, the scoop for spoilers, daily recaps, and 2 scoops for weekly commentary. Week's best, September 15th to 19th. The Young and the Restless week of September 15th to 19th was nothing short of captivating, with a number of plot lines deftly intertwined to emphasize both the quiet, emotional undercurrents that keep this daytime drama going, as well as the chaos within Genoa City's most influential families. Battle lines were established, stakes were increased, and allegiances were put to the test in both subtle and explosive ways. Victoria Newman's resistance to Billy Abbott's self-destructive spiral, Christine Blair's nostalgic yet futuristic modeling sequence as she gets ready for her wedding, Victor Newman's next strategic move with a confidence only he could muster, and a supporting tapestry of moments involving Sally, Jack, Kyle, Claire, Lily, Devin, Daniel, Danny, Sharon, and others took center stage during the week. The result was a week that combined personal anguish with business intrigue, exhibiting the quintessential YNR formula: love, betrayal, legacy, and resiliency. Victoria and Billy, a couple with a history full of passion, suffering, and explosive tension, had the most dramatic thread. Amelia Victoria's sudden appearance on screen to face Jason Thompson's Billy was the kind of intense emotional confrontation that made viewers realize why soap operas are still the best medium for examining the complexities of broken relationships. More than just a moment about addiction or bad habits, Victoria's intervention, performed in tandem with Jack Abbott and delivered with steady seriousness by Peter Bergman, was more. A former wife's frustration at seeing the guy she once loved undermine himself once more was reflected in the mirror, which represented years of despair. Her voice pierced Billy's protective exterior as her performance glistened with equal parts rage and tenderness. During those minutes, Victoria played the role of the ex-wife who is all too familiar with the addict's patterns. The assurances, the excuses, the confidence that belies unease. She spoke from a position of love and tiredness, which made her remarks poignant. This type of scenario serves as a reminder to viewers that YNR works best when its characters are given the freedom to confront difficult realities. Billy's answer was just as instructive. Jason Thompson demonstrated the desperation of a guy clutching to control, while simultaneously spiraling by leaning into Billy's pandemonium. Billy's annoyance with Victoria's remarks, the contemptuous apology, the ironic tone, was more than just rage. It was a protective mechanism used by someone who was afraid to acknowledge the severity of their relapse. Throughout the week, his union with Kane Ashby loomed big, a choice that felt more like self-defeating than strategic. Jack served as the scene's counterpoint, the composed, practical Abbott sibling attempting to control the impulsive one. Billy's deteriorating mental state was highlighted by Kai Kim's direction, which included close-ups of him pacing and muttering to himself later in the week. It wasn't only that Billy had reverted to his old ways. He appeared ready to turn against everyone by refusing to face the reality, including Victoria, Jack, Sally, and even Diane. The surprisingly endearing, nostalgic, and participatory plotline involving Christine Blair, or Cricket, as devoted fans recall her, ran parallel to this family breakdown. Scenes where Christine modeled wedding dresses, chosen by her best friend Lauren Baldwin, were infused with a lively vitality by Laura Lee Bell. These scenes weren't merely filler, they were a humorous way to engage the audience by letting them vote on their favorite gown, a love letter to fans who remember Christine's modeling days, and a character beat that demonstrated her continued fusion of career woman, romantic partner, and soap opera heroine. The dresses themselves, with their satin, lace, and more contemporary styles, were symbolic, while the sleeker gown related to Christine's development as a woman who has experienced hardships, heartache, and victories. The lace gown evoked memories of classic soap opera weddings. Christine and Lauren had gentle conversations, with Lauren sharing her concerns about Michael's job decisions and offering advice. One of the week's most memorable scenes was produced by the combination of friendship, fashion, and fan involvement, which made Christine's impending nuptials to Danny seem both timeless and modern. It goes without saying that Victor Newman is always behind the scenes in Genoa City. Victor's status as a titan of daytime television was once again demonstrated by Eric Braeden. Victor said out loud in an early episode that he had already worked out how to outmaneuver Jack, Kane, and Billy before their business war had even really begun. His monologue was almost a battle cry. It was typical Victor, proactive, confident, and contemptuous of anyone who would try to undervalue him. These scenes, which appear to be straightforward, an older man murmuring strategy, have significance because they reinforce Victor's mythos. His domination is undeniable, his vision unmatched, and his wins inevitable. Fans are more interested in how Victor will win and how much collateral damage he will cause than in if he will win. Future explosions were foreshadowed by this week's plotting, particularly as Victor's actions always have a cascading effect on numerous families, drawing both enemies and innocents into his orbit. Sally Spectra's tumultuous relationship with Billy was another emotional thread. It was both sad and important for Sally to leave Billy. Sally may love passionately, but she will not bind herself to a guy who is reluctant to heal himself, as Courtney Hope reminded viewers, adding a quiet strength to the moment. Even though her leaving was devastating, it brought to light a recurring theme throughout the week. Sometimes letting go of love before it destroys you is necessary for survival. The soap opera's subject of musical chairs in relation to relationships was further highlighted by Sally's plot, which acted as a counterpoint to Chelsea and Adam's continuous dance of intimacy and distance. Although some fans may find these dynamics frustrating, they are a reflection of the tug-of-war in real relationships, magnified by the elevated perspective of soap operas. Relationships among the younger generation provided an additional level of drama in other places. Despite Claire pushing him away with hypocrisy and mistrust, Cal Abbott remained patient with her. An unusual but intriguing plot device that upped the ante in their romance was the clause that Victor would be fined $5 million if Kyle injured Claire. While Claire reacted angrily to being excluded from the decision, Victoria herself even supported Kyle, acknowledging his sincerity. By playing Claire's fears with a razor-sharp edge, Haley Aaron demonstrated that Claire's resistance sprang from both a fear of vulnerability and a need for control. In contrast to the more mature romances, the Claire-Kyle plotline served as a reminder to viewers that inexperience and mistrust may be just as harmful as addiction and treachery. The week also featured Lily and Devin, whose sibling relationship continues to be one of the most endearing features of the show. Brighton James and Crystal Khalil were genuine, and Lily looked to Devin for support on making a new beginning. Their relationship, developed over years of shared adversity and success, was a sharp contrast to the turmoil that the Abbotts were experiencing. The ghost of their father, Neil, hovered over their scenes, a silent blessing from the memory of the late Christophe St. John. The more dramatic arcs were counterbalanced by this subdued support plotline, which demonstrated that family on YNR isn't always about strife, but can also be about unwavering affection. The week was made more pleasant by Daniel's encounters with his father, Danny. Michael and Michael Damian had a great relationship, and their moments were filled with the kind of father-son love that is rarely witnessed during the day. Audiences were reminded that not all parent-child interactions in Genoa City are characterized by manipulation or animosity by Danny's support of Daniel and his urging that his son not be too hard on himself. Rather, theirs is one of healing and gentle prodding, providing viewers with a break from the more serious plots. Danny and Daniel's relationship demonstrated the show's capacity to present various facets of family when contrasted with Victor's controlling parental approach or Billy's dysfunctional parenting. Little but powerful moments were layered into these arcs. Phyllis's constant sparring with Michael, Sharon's conspicuous absence with Nick, Nikki's affectionate interactions with Jack that showed how ex-spouses can stay close without rekindling romance, and Esther's awkwardly calling out Claire's drinking in front of Kyle. Even though they weren't very noteworthy, these vignettes gave the canvas dimension and served as a reminder to viewers that Genoa City depends on connectivity to thrive. Another important aspect of the week's narrative was fashion. Kane's striking zigzag cardigan, Lauren's chic Donna Karan ensemble, and Christine's dresses all referenced character identification. Kane's cardigan suggested his flamboyance in the face of financial insecurity. Lauren's white mix denoted sophistication, and Christine's lace represented tradition. YNR has always recognized that fashion is more than just costumes. It's a means of using cloth to tell a story and convey a character's mood or social standing without using words. The week's theme focused on behavioral cycles and the potential, or lack thereof, for transformation. Daniel's self-criticism, Sally's boundary setting, Claire's mistrust, Victor's planning, Billy's addiction, and Christine's nostalgic modeling all revolved around the topic of whether individuals can actually change or if they are destined to repeat the same old patterns. The response appeared hopeful to some characters, such as Devin and Lily. For some, like As Billy, things stayed bleak. This tension is well dramatized in soap operas, and Y&R confidently embraced it. By the conclusion of the week, Genoa City had provided audiences with all they could want. Dramatic conflicts, loving family moments, fan-driven engagement, business intrigue, romantic quandaries, and fashion shows. Every plot point brought people closer to a turning point, guaranteeing that the week that followed would be full with repercussions. The harmony between the large and the personal ultimately struck a chord. While Daniel, quietly receiving encouragement from his father, was as close as family drama can go, Victoria's confrontation with Billy was as spectacular as soap operas come. Collectively, they captured the young and the restless, timeless appeal. On weekdays, watch brand new episodes of The Young and the Restless on Paramount Plus and CBS.